Hi, this is Tom. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to show a gem that I built with Cloud Code. So this gem is called a War Room, and we're looking at the Battle of the Atlantic, and so this is designed to do battles. So we've got 5 tabs: a strategic overview tab, an order of battle tab. So this tab, the strategic overview, is, I think, pretty self-explanatory. It's just giving a summary of the battle. Then the order of battle has split up into the forces, Allied and Axis forces, and then information about them. Then we've got logistics and metrics. So this has some sort of easy to see statistics, and war correspondence. So the idea here is to replicate like a transmission, wire transmission for the given battle. So it'll typically have 2, one for one side and one for the other. And then under historical feature, this is written sort of like a magazine articles. Is kind of the idea, just a little page summary from like my Life magazine or something is the idea. Okay, let me give an example here. I'm going to do another battle. So this was the Battle of the Atlantic. Let's try, let's say, trying to think of a battle. Yes, Gemini, give me some battles. This is Gemini in Chrome. So I find that the Gemini in Chrome can be helpful at times because it can see what's going on here. So that's an interesting one, Operation Jubilee. All right, so I'm going to say, please do Operation Jubilee, the Depi. Right. Okay. So actually, I'm not. This isn't what I was thinking it was. So I'm not actually familiar with this battle. So that'll be kind of interesting. So I wanted to do this just to give an idea of how long it takes, and then I'll talk about how this was built. So I guess I'll talk. I think it'll finish up pretty quick. Yeah, it's finishing up. All right, so it'll switch out the Battle of the Atlantic for Operation Jubilee any moment now. And then this will follow the same pattern. It'll have the same 5 menu items, the same look and feel, and just basically different data for what it's showing. And while this is finishing up, I'll mention that I built this mostly with Cloud Code. A little bit I used the Google and Chrome because it can see what's going on, so to get some ideas from it. Okay, so here we have Operation. It says Operation. Oh, okay, I see. Report Jubilee. Okay, the W raid. Allied is that. So here it's giving a summary. Allied defeat, tactical disaster. So this was. Okay, so this is giving information about it. So the Soviet Union was pressuring the Allies to do something to take some of the brunt away from the Eastern Front. And the Allies kept saying, we're not ready, we're not ready. But they decided to try something. And I don't know. So it's telling us this is a catastrophic failure. I'm not sure where this was. It doesn't seem to say here. It says it involves Canadian infantry. And it says, oh, it's in Depi. All right, I don't know where that is. All right. But that's why it's called that. That makes sense. Okay, I guess I can. So here's a nice thing here. I mean, I could ask in Gemini too, but well, I'll just ask where is Depi. It's in. So I see it's in France somewhere, occupied France. Okay, and then here, so we see that it's it's got the statistics here in this tab, and then here we got the war correspondence. You see it has the same look and feel as the other battle. And this is designed to work for any battle of any war, is the idea. But this could be pretty easily tailored to other things besides war battles. So that might be something I play around with about how to make it kind of more flexible, I guess. But no, this is pretty cool. Like, I mean, some of this stuff, like this war correspondence, would be specific to a battle. But anyway, let me talk a little bit about I was what I was confused with was the Doolittle raid. I think that's what it was called, the Doolittle raid. Okay, raid was against Japan in China. Let me see if I got the name right. So it says that Depi is a coastal town in the Normandy region. Interesting. Because that's where they actually, well, not during D-Day, it was in Normandy. Doolittle. Okay, so let me do that one. So do the Doolittle raid. All right. So I'll have it work on this, and you can see that once it has one built, it can like do new ones pretty quick. And even the first one doesn't take that long to do. But this, this was quite quick. Not even a minute. Now, I wonder if it keeps track of all of them. Yeah, it does. That's cool. So I've got 3 of them here. I've got Battle of the Atlantic, Operation Jubilee, and the Doolittle raid once this finishes up, which should be pretty quick here. So I started out with the basic concept, and I didn't use Cloud Code to start with. I used, actually I did use Cloud Code to get the prompt. So I got an original prompt, then I worked with Gemini and Code to kind of get it a bit better. And then once I had something, I gave it to Cloud Code. And I'll show how that worked. Okay, so that's the one thing I was saying about Depi. I got that confused with the Doolittle. So here it's calling this an Allied strategic victory, which this was a pretty cool thing. This was in the beginning of the Pacific War, where the U.S. the Japanese were having all of the fun, and the U.S. didn't really have any presence in the Pacific. They were just recovering from the Pearl Harbor attack and trying to get things going. And they were able to get a raid against Japan, drop bombs on Tokyo, and then ditch their planes in China, and then just kind of did the best that they could to survive. And it was a big hit because it was really nerve-wracking for Japan because they felt like invincible, that the U.S. was too far away to do anything against them. So didn't really do any military damage to speak of, but it had a very big psychological impact. So this is talking about that raid, and you can see it has the same look and feel. So it's a nice little app here. This one gave 3. 3 of these wires. And then we've got the ride up 30 seconds over Tokyo. So pretty neat. All right, so to work with, okay, let me go to the gem itself. So here are the gems. So this one is called War Room. So I can click on it, and here are some recent, I don't know how it chooses to pick these, because these aren't the ones I just did. But anyway, here's the gem, and so I can edit this. And I'm not going to change anything, but I want to show what it looks like. So on the edit here, there's 2 main things that I'm working with. So one are the instructions here. So here I worked with Cloud Code to write the prompt. So I did a really nice job writing the prompt for it. And then the other was this JSX, which is code that it uses to base what it's writing on. This works really, really well. This is a really good pattern. So I have, it's basically showing it the code to use, the actual code to generate the gem. And that's a really good technique in working with AI, because it sees exactly what it should be doing. And the instructions are actually quite, this isn't the whole thing here. Here's the whole thing. But you can see that the prompt itself is quite short, and that's because it has the actual code to look at and give it a really good idea of what to do. And so to set it up, that was I guess there's maybe 3 things to do. So one is the prompt, and then 2 is I gave it this code. So I uploaded this from my computer and for it to use as a pattern. And then the default tool is Canvas. So that's how it writes out the web app. And in order to get the code, I went to the gem and just click on code. And then I just copy and paste this and give it to Claude. And then it can get what it needs from this code that it's looking at to build the JSX that I uploaded into the gem itself. And I guess one last thing that I'll mention is that for this particular gem, I'm just relying on the general knowledge of Gemini. And for a lot of things, that's dependable to do. Like you hear a lot about AI hallucinating and the importance of like curating your sources and so forth. And a lot of times that's true. I'd say like for anything that's very specific in nature, like a real detailed, specific knowledge, or new, because AIs have knowledge cutoffs. So anything in the last, I don't know exactly when the cutoff is, but say 8 months or something, then yes, you want to have curated sources. So actually give it, sources to work from. But a lot of things will work really well. For example, World War II, it knows, it's very, very well trained on World War II. So lots and lots of things you can do just from the general knowledge of the AI. Well, thanks for watching, and hope you found that interesting. Until next time.